I won't say any more. All I can say is I'm very sorry. I know I'm late with this. I've had a lot of stress. I've had a lot of issues going on. I won't make excuses. I'm just going to get straight into your reading as quickly as I can and try to get this out to you as quickly as I possibly can. So the first card you have, your past, is the Queen of Wands. Yes, I'm seeing you really having to try to make some sort of big effort to finish something. This was a goal that you had or something like that. I'm seeing you being nearly at the end of something, but then feeling like, you just weren't enthusiastic at all. You just really, really had to push yourself to get organized and get this thing finished, over and done with. You're probably procrastinating with this thing for a while, kind of trying to put it off, and then you just couldn't put it off any longer. You couldn't do that any longer. I'm also seeing someone who you might have had to contact, or you might have had to communicate with this person to try and push this thing over the finish line. And this was a really difficult person. You just didn't want to even contact this person. You didn't want to talk to them. There was a lot of stress around having to contact them, but you had to do this to kind of finish whatever this was. And so maybe that's why you're procrastinating so much, because this was a very difficult person. I'm really just getting this feeling of dread around this. I'm just seeing you looking at your phone and thinking, oh, I have to call them. You're kind of trying to make yourself talk to this person. But, you did it. And, I'm seeing this huge relief when this was all over. You kind of finished this finally. And yes, you could have finished this a lot sooner, but you just had this big dread feeling every time you kind of tried to do this. The next card you have, your past, is the Nine of Wands. So again, I'm seeing determination. I'm seeing a kind of exhausted determination. It's like, you knew you had to do this. You're exhausted. You were tired. You didn't want to do this, but you kind of knew you had to do this. If you look at the man in this card, he's exhausted. He's got a big bandage around his head. He's battle scarred, but he's still coming forwards. I mean, he's half hiding. He's not running away though. He's coming forward. So he knows that he has to come forward. He kind of looks like he doesn't really want to. He looks a bit afraid. He looks like he's, exhausted. Again, I'm repeating myself, but he's still coming forward. So that's what you did. You had to do this. I'm also seeing this kind of, or I'm kind of feeling this kind of, other kind of determination. This is like you were determined not to keep on repeating some past mistakes you'd made at this time. Now, this is mistakes you'd made in love, I'm seeing. And, you were looking back over some past relationships. Maybe you were seeing history repeating itself a few times, especially in two relationships. I'm actually seeing there could have been some codependency around one of these relationships, around this person. Maybe even some mental health issues, and maybe you were forced into some kind of a caring role with someone. I'm seeing that you really, really cared for this person. You actually really loved this person. You really tried everything you could to kind of make everything work with them, but it just wasn't working. It just was not healthy. It just wasn't good for anyone. And I'm just seeing a lot of mixed feelings, actually, because I'm seeing that you don't want to repeat past mistakes. You're looking back over that. But a part of you really missed someone, and it might have been this person who you had this codependent relationship with. It was kind of like, I don't want to go back and repeat that again. I don't want to go through that again. But deep down, I really do miss that person. It's that kind of thing I'm feeling. I'm seeing a lot of mixed emotions here, and a lot of just emotions anyway. You're feeling quite kind of emotional and introspective anyway, and then you were looking back and thinking that on top of that. So there are a lot of emotions here. The last card you have, your past, is the Hermit. So yes, after you had this kind of rush of finishing this thing in the Queen of Wands, you kind of got to the finish line. You came to the end of whatever this goal was. And then you were just really introspective. You're really just spending time, again, thinking about your past. This was more a time of feeling rather than thinking. You were going through a lot emotionally at this time. Maybe you couldn't even understand where a lot of these feelings were coming from, because I'm seeing a lot of kind of really difficult feelings coming in, sad feelings, all kinds of things coming in, and then remembering things from the past on top of that, and then kind of missing someone. But it was all kind of mixed up in a great big kind of mess, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I hope this is making sense. I'm just picking up on a lot of very mixed feelings, very kind of difficult feelings. The first card you have for your present is the Queen of Cups. So yes, you're still very emotional, still very, very emotional at this time. This is the first time I've had such a general reading with so many kind of mixed emotions that are really difficult to kind of put into words, if that makes sense. It's the kind of really deep emotions, really mixed up emotions that are really difficult to put into words. And you might not even kind of be able to articulate where they're coming from. It might be that you're feeling really upset, and then you kind of ask yourself, well, what's making me upset? What can I change to fix things? You can't kind of think of what that is. It's that kind of thing I'm seeing. The other thing I'm seeing in the Queen of Cups is rescuing or saving. The Queen of Cups can be a very kind of feminine. She's the most feminine queen of all. She's very emotional and beautiful and ornate. Her cups beautifully ornate. And she's vulnerable as well. She's very vulnerable. So this is probably why I was seeing this kind of codependency in this past relationship. And I'm seeing this past relationship because it's on your mind. It's on your mind. You're missing them. You're thinking about them. So yes, and I'm seeing this need to save, because the Queen of Cups needs saving from herself. She's very, very emotional. So if this resonates, you might be kind of subconsciously choosing people who need rescuing, because I kept on seeing this history repeating itself over and over again in the Nine of Wands, and you were thinking about that. So, if you do want to change this pattern, and if you want to stop this this thing repeating itself, obviously try to be more conscious of this. And obviously, if you're single, keep this in mind when you're choosing a new partner. But also, if you're thinking of contacting this person again, if you're thinking of going back together with this person again, make sure that they're better, or at least that they're trying to get better, or they're on some kind of program to help themselves or something like that, that they're not 100% depending on you to feel better this time. It has to be that, otherwise it will go all the way back to the way it was again. And, I'm seeing in the Nine of Wands that you don't want to repeat that again. This is a very, very emotional reading, a very complicated reading, but I'm trying my best to kind of articulate not just what I'm seeing, but what I'm feeling. I hope that makes sense. The next card you have, your present, is the Nine of Pentacles. So yes, you're still stable, even though your memory and your emotions have been kind of all over the place. You're still keeping up with everything that you need to do, I'm seeing. I'm also seeing someone around you who might be maybe asking you to help them out with something. It might be practically, it might be financially. They might be asking you to help them in a way that helps them to save money or something like that. It might be helping them in business, might be helping them to sell something. There is money around this, and I'm seeing you maybe going backwards and forwards in your mind a bit, not being sure whether you want to do this. There's this feeling of kind of obligation, also some guilt around this. So if this resonates, and this is someone trying to kind of guilt you into doing something, and you're having some kind of bad feeling around this, say no, because your emotions and your instincts are really magnified at this time. So when your emotions are heightened, sometimes these people who want to come and use you for things or do things can sense that. They can sense that you're emotional or that you're vulnerable, which I was seeing in the Queen of Cups, vulnerability. They might play on that. They might use that. They might say things like, oh, I know only you care about me. Nobody else does. You're always there for me. All of that kind of thing. Now, use your intuition. If your intuition is making you feel bad, you're getting that kind of bad, weird feeling that you don't like this, something's wrong, use those intuitions, use that intuition. Say no, say no. This person could have a false impression about what you have as well financially, but it doesn't matter what you have. If someone's trying to use you, whether you have 1 million or you have, 5 whatever sticks or nothing or a rock, it doesn't matter. If someone's trying to use you, they're trying to use you. That's what I'm seeing. So be very careful and use your intuition. Follow your instincts. And I know this is Libra, but I'm going through this at the moment. I'm going through someone trying to use me. This is a part of why I'm late with these. This is a part of why I'm very emotionally drained. And it was very difficult for me to do these readings because this is someone who I really, truly, 100% cared about for a long, long time. And this person's trying to use me right now. And I'm still going through this now. I've turned my phone off because I cannot listen to this anymore. It's just too emotionally draining. And, I'm a kind person. I want to help people, not just emotionally, but financially, emotionally, not just always financially, but emotionally in all other ways. And I think I'm being taken advantage of. And so my instincts were telling me that. I ignored it. I shouldn't have done that. So don't you do the same thing. The last card you have for your present is the Sun. So yes, things are becoming a lot clearer to you at this time and with this card. And yes, the sun shines on things. It illuminates things. If you've ever had winter time and then it's suddenly summer or it's suddenly springtime, the sun shines through the windows and you think, oh, I should clean those windows, they're really dirty. So it illuminates things. Sometimes it illuminates things you don't want to see. So yes, don't be angry. I hope this is going to make sense. I'll just tell you what I'm seeing in this card. You do still miss someone from your past. I was seeing a bit of that in the Nine of Wands, but you wouldn't be prepared to be around them if they still needed rescuing. Now that sounds really blunt and it sounds really heartless. It isn't heartless because you need to care about yourself as well. You are caring about this person, but you need to care about yourself as well. If you don't care about yourself and this person's going down in a sinking ship, you're going to go down with them. What's the use of 2 drowned people? It's worse than 1 drowned person. That sounds really harsh, I know, but you really miss this person. And yes, you really, really still miss this person, I'm seeing. And yes, you miss the version of them that was there before they had all these kind of problems, these kind of issues. They might have had depression, they might have had addiction problems. Now, it might be that the depression led them to the addiction problems. It might be that the addiction problems led them to the depression. Or it might be none of those things. It might just be that they had some very difficult issues. They needed rescuing and you were there rescuing them all the time. Now, whatever problems they had, you can't keep on rescuing them anymore. And I think you know that. So you do miss them though. They're all over this reading. So if you want to go back to this person, if you want to be in a proper relationship with this person, they're going to have to get some kind of outside help or some kind of change, or at least show you that they're changing. I know I'm saying the same thing again, but yes, I'm seeing this all through this reading. And you're already emotionally up and down and, vulnerable and kind of feeling all sorts of emotions. If you go back to this person at this time and they're still the same, you're going to be so much worse. Your emotions are going to be even worse. You're going to be out of your depth. You're going to be drowning. So you need to keep yourself strong by making sure that you're away from people who are going to kind of pull you down with them. But also, if you're going to be around this person even, they're going to have to show you that they're doing things to help themselves. So yes, I won't repeat myself anymore. The first card you have in future is the Ten of Pentacles. So yes, again, you do have this sense of stability around you. It's underpinning everything, which I'm really glad you do, because, it stops you from kind of going over the edge when you have these kinds of waves of emotion. We all have them. I'm having them right now. I'm trying to deal with them. I'm a lot more stable than I was, which is why I'm now doing these readings again. So yes, I'm seeing you you're still going to be thinking about this person a lot at this time, this person from the past. you did have a very difficult relationship with this person. I keep on seeing that. There are a lot of problems. You still felt your best around them before things went badly. You know, when things were going well, this is when you felt your best. You kind of look back to the time and you're seeing that, you know, when they're at their worst, you were kind of really drowning and you just couldn't do it anymore. But when they were okay, before all of this happened, you were feeling your best. You're on top of things. You were happy. You want to get back to that. Now, you might not be able to get back to exactly that, but you might be able to get back to something good if this person changes, Now, a lot of people say, oh, once they do something, they'll never change. Now, it depends. Some people will never change. Some people can change. I've seen people change, so it might be possible that this person does. So if this resonates, you really, really still miss them, you still want to get back into contact with them, try to contact them casually, just kind of to assess things for yourself. Don't think about what your family might say, because I'm thinking that your family will probably be in opposition if you go back to them. They'll be saying, don't go back to that terrible person. But you know yourself. Don't listen to them, but also don't go in all emotional and kind of all like that. Go in with your eyes wide open. Go in thinking objectively. Go in with a very cool head. Think through things very, very clearly. Ask yourself, has this person changed? Are they going to be willing to change? Are they going to do the work to change? And only you can answer that, but you need to go in with a clear head. You can't be all emotional when you go in. The next card you have, your future, is the Ace of Cups. This is telling me exactly the same thing again. This person in the Eight of Cups is walking away from their emotions, this emotional wall. You have this big lot of emotions you're feeling. You're probably still feeling this about this person. If you're going to come into contact with them again, if you're going to even think about taking this person back again, step away from your emotions. Now, that doesn't mean that you have no emotion, you're completely cold. It just means that you can't let your emotions run your thought process when you're with them. You have to go into this with a clear head. You have to see it with your eyes open. You have to be able to assess if this person is ready to, come back, even see you again, even talk to you again. They need to be able to help themselves. They need to be in at least some kind of process of getting help. That's what I'm seeing. The last card you have, your future, is the Nine of Cups. So yes, you do have the desire to do this. This man has a red feather in his hat, and that represents desire. You see that in this card. You see it also in the Fool card, in some of the Wand card as well. It's this kind of red desire, this red feather. So you have this. And this is about your desire. You still have a lot of emotions around this. Again, you're going to have to put these to one side, because you might miss things that are hidden if you go in emotionally. This man's sitting outside of this curtain. We can't see what's behind this curtain. So if you go in just with your emotions, with your desire, with your red feather, rushing in, oh, I love you so much. Oh, wonderful. It's so good to see you again. I missed you. Da, 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 da. There might be things that you're not seeing. So again, I know I'm repeating myself again, but I keep on seeing this. Go in with a clear head. Go in with objectivity. Ask questions. Ask yourself questions. Ask them questions. Investigate. Make sure what they are saying is true. Especially, I don't know if this is true. It might be true. It might not be. Especially if they have addiction problems. Especially that. These people lie. I'm not saying they do, but if this is of someone with that kind of a problem, make sure you know they're telling the truth. Get evidence. Do all of that. If it's not addiction problems, if it's just someone with mental health problems or other kind of issues, again, see things clearly. Make sure you know for sure that everything is back on track, or at least they're trying to get things back on track before you start involving yourself with them again, because you're emotionally vulnerable. That's what I'm seeing. So Libra, I hope this resonated. As you know, general readings can't always resonate with every single person, but again, if you like this reading, please like or subscribe or leave a comment. And again, I'm sorry for being late. Thank you so much for watching.